Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born May 21st, 1960. He was also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal and also the Milwaukee Monster. An American serial killer and sex offender who killed and dismembered 17 men and boys between 1978 and 1991. He was sentenced to 16 life imprisonment terms, but was killed on November 28, 1994, beaten to death by a fellow inmate. Chester Arthur Styles, born September 14, 1970. He gained fame after appearing in video clips of himself raping and sexually abusing a girl who was 3 years old at the time. On May 29, 2009, Styles was sentenced to 21 life sentences on 21 counts with the possibility of parole in 140 years. Nicholas Jacob Cruz, born September 24, 1998. On October 20th, 2021, Cruz pleaded guilty to all charges, including murder and attempted murder. Then on November 2nd, 2022, Cruz was officially sentenced to 34 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, one each for the total number of victims murdered and wounded by Cruz. Barry Walker. He was a serial rapist and former physician who practiced medicine in Arkansas. He pled guilty and received the maximum sentence for raping at least 31 different minor children, ranging from as early as 1997 until as late as 2022. In October of 2022, he was sentenced to 39 life sentences plus 1,710 years without parole. James Kevin Pope, found guilty and sentenced to 40 life prison terms, which he is to serve consecutively, plus he was given an additional 60 years, totaling 4,060 years. He is eligible for parole in the year of 3,209. Loy Kak Guyan, the survivor of the 4 perpetrators from the 1991 Good Guy siege. Convicted of 3 murders, 11 attempted murders, and 35 counts of kidnapping, he was sentenced to 49 consecutive life sentences without the chance of parole. Gary Leon Ridgway, born February 18, 1949. He was also known as the Green River Killer. Believed to have murdered at least 71 teenage girls and women, in court statements, Ridgway himself reported that he had killed so many that he had lost count. On December 18, 2003, Ridgway was sentenced to 48 life sentences without the possibility of parole to be served consecutively. He was also sentenced to an additional 10 years for tampering with evidence for each of the 48 victims, adding 480 years to his 48 life sentences. He was later given an additional life sentence after the remains of his 49th victim were found. Michael John Delvin, born November 19, 1965. He was convicted of kidnapping and child sexual abuse of 2 young boys. He was sentenced to 74 life sentences, which are 30 years each, plus an additional 2,020 years, totaling 4,240 years. Patrick Wood Crusius, born July 27, 1998. He was the perpetrator in the shooting incident that occurred at a Walmart near the Cielo Vista Mall on the east side of El Paso, Texas. He posted a manifesto titled The Inconvenient Truth on an online message board shortly before the shooting. On February 6, 2020, Crusius was charged with 90 federal charges, 22 counts of committing a hate crime resulting in death, 22 counts of use of a firearm to commit murder, 23 counts of a hate crime involving an attempt to kill, and 23 counts of a use of a firearm during a crime. Then on February 8, 2023, he pled guilty to 90 federal murder and hate crime charges. The state also charged him with 23 counts of capital murder. In the end, He was sentenced to 90 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Terry Lynn Nichols, born April 1st, 1955. He is known for being the co-conspirator of Timothy McVeigh in the Oklahoma City bombings. He was sentenced to 161 life sentences without parole. His lengthy sentence holds the record for the most consecutive life sentences ever given to a single individual. And due to such a large number of life sentences, adding no parole possibility, it can also be declared as the longest officially confirmed sentence ever handed down in the world.